Hey everyone, welcome to another music reaction video. I'm NetherCloud, and today we've got something that's been a long time coming. The last video we did by Ren was met with amazing support. There was an outpouring of people commenting, liking, subscribing. It was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, and it's so wonderful to see such a kind community. Everybody had wonderful things to say about the reaction video, telling me the history, and hey everyone, welcome to another music reaction video. I'm NetherCloud, and today we're going to do something a little special. The last video we did by Ren, you guys came out in droves to support. His community is absolutely wonderful. The kindness, the love, the support, the understanding, the respect, like in gallons. And I don't even know what to say. I very much emotionally connected with Hi Ren. That song had me in tears by the end. I'm very floored by the humanity, the sheer emotional investment that he has in his music, his lyrics, and in his life and his community. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. When I started doing these reaction videos, it was kind of a let's just do something fun and lighthearted. I love music. I've produced music and played music most of my life. Not that long ago, as it were, I transitioned over to mostly gaming content. You'll notice if you take a peek through my channel, I don't know if it's mostly because we've been doing a lot of these music reaction videos, but there's a lot of gaming content, a lot of VODs from my streams of RimWorld and Oxygen Not Included, some tutorials, some produced content that's episodic, a lot of different things with gaming. I really do love the crossover between gaming and music. I've been loving doing the stuff that is gaming oriented, either music from the games or music about games, but I do everything. And one of my friends suggested Hi Ren. This is going to be a long intro and a long video, by the way, so let's take our time. That was one of the big comments was take more time, really digest, dive in, go deep. So we're going to do that. So we're going to tell a few stories, talk about things, and then we're going to get into this and give it more than it's due. So anyway, what I was saying, a friend of mine suggested Hi Ren. And at the time, I was pretty much able to keep up with all of the suggestions coming in from the community and the comments. Then all of a sudden, I was just hit with a whole bunch of stuff. So we have got a list, an absolute 1.5 miles long, of songs to listen to. And I took a little longer getting to this than I would have liked because I've been working on the style of these videos, making sure that I've made a little adjustments here and there, slowing down, taking time, getting used to where I want to wind it back. And this is all thanks to you guys with all the feedback. I really, really appreciate it. I'm trying to do the best I can. This is something that's just been wonderful and fun for me. And there have been a few artists, Ren's at the top of this list, who have really hit me emotionally. I've been through a lot in my life. I've been through health problems. I've dealt with being undiagnosed for bipolar and ADHD my whole life. Getting on medication for that has really stabilized my life. I've got a new therapist that I'm talking to who's been helping me sort through some of my issues and my recent emotional ups and downs. These are all things that are very important to me, and it seems like they're very important to Ren and his community. So when you find an artist that really resonates with your heart and soul, you gotta take the time to recognize that. Not just stop and smell the roses, but really just take it all in, with every sense, with every part of who you are. I'm honestly a little nervous. I feel like you guys are just so wonderful and so, I don't want to use the word obsessed. I feel like there's a negative connotation to that, but his fans, his community are in love with him, and I see why. The man is talented and heartfelt and vulnerable. He allows himself to be vulnerable, and there's something special to be said about that. It's not an easy thing to do, to put your heart out there, to just rip open your rib cage and show everybody what's inside you, whether that's musically or through speaking or through art. That vulnerability, that's not easy. Not everybody can do that, especially out in public. You guys know how hard it is to be on the internet. I'm sure you've seen comments, seen videos, all this stuff where people can get ripped apart. There were a handful of comments that were kind of trolly or disrespectful, I suppose, but I mean, like, 0.0 something percent. Everybody has just been super kind and supportive. And to those few of you out there who are upset or lashing out, I'm not angry. I'm not upset with you. I know everybody's on a journey, and some people are on a very rocky place on that journey. So I want all of you to know that I'm never gonna come back at you with any anger or vitriol, or I'm not gonna lash out back at you. That's not what I'm about, and I don't think that's what Ren and his community is about. So if you have unkind words to say, I'm not going to say openly say them. I'd prefer if you didn't try to destroy me, but if you do try to destroy me, I want you to know I'm going to meet that with open arms. Come over. I'll give you a hug. I'll pour you a cup of tea or coffee or lemonade, whatever your beverage of choice is. We can sit down and talk about what in life is kicking you in the chest right now, because it's kicked me in the chest and the gut and everywhere else, and I'm sure it'll do the same to everybody out there. And it's how you deal with it. It's how you react to it. And that message came through very clearly for me in the last video we did. There is something special about this artist. We do a lot of lighthearted stuff. I just did a reaction to an anime song that was very, very upbeat and dancey. I love music that's fun. I like to laugh. I like to sing. I like to dance. I'm a big fan of like metal music, so I love to headbang. But music is for everything. It encompasses all the range of human emotions. And I got my guts ripped out in the best way when we watched the last Ren video. Hi, Ren. Everybody said to me the most common thing in the comments was, you have to check out the trilogy of The Tale of Jenny and Screech. So we're going to do that. I've got the lyrics up. I started to read through them because what I've started to do with videos on everybody's suggestion is getting more used to having the lyrics on hand. And on some of the other songs I've been doing recently, I read through the lyrics first just to get an idea what we're talking about. But I kind of feel like there were some spoilers in there, so I stopped short of the first part, Jenny's Tale, so that we could get a little bit of... Because a lot of bands, especially in the metal genre, you want to know what they're saying, and then how they say it like really adds some context to it. But I feel like I'd be spoiling too much for myself if I read through everything. So we're gonna go through the lyrics with it. He's very good at articulating, so I don't think I'm gonna have to overly reference the lyrics. But in case we want to read something specifically, I've got them on hand. This is getting long, this intro, but it needs to be. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Is the last thing we're going to go over before we hit play here. It means the world to me that you guys come out and support. And again, I apologize for taking long to get this out. I wanted to do a few others to get my feet under me a little bit more before we dive into this. This is important. So I took my time to rehearse and get myself where I need to be with other videos, so we can really be together on this one. That being said, let me make sure I'm in the right window. I don't want to screw this recording up. I'm trying to give you guys like one take through. There shouldn't be any edits. I don't generally edit this content. We just go right through. So you guys are going to get as much of me as I get of Ren, and we're gonna go through this journey together. So I did bring up the 1331 video, which is a trilogy of 3 songs. So we've got them all. You guys said I had to do them back to back, so we got the full length situation here. Let's give it a listen, and I love you guys. Thank you.
was a quiet dark night in an empty street somewhere in London City. Jenny walked alone, she was dragging her feet. She was heading back home to sleep. Well, she knew this town, she knew this floor, because she walked it about 1,000 times before. She wanted to escape. Can you blame? Well, on the very same night, in a different place, there was this hooded young youth by the name of James. He was 14 years old and out of his brain. He'd been smoking ganja with the boys. James, he grew up to be a kid of the street. His mates called him Screech. He was quick on his...
Okay. Some of you don't like when I pause. Some of you guys want me to pause more. I'm gonna take a quick pause. We're gonna go all the way back to the top. This obviously is done in a single take. And it's obviously done live, which I'm just going to say it's ballsy. And going back to that whole vulnerability thing, a lot of artists rely on editing, rely on multiple takes to make sure that they get the most beautiful thing coming out. And there's a beauty in crafting something like that, but there's a whole different kind of beauty in doing it raw and live in a single take. From what I understand, that's how High Ren was done. You guys said he did 4 takes and then took the best of that take, which I think was the 4th one, if I'm remembering the comments correctly. As always, if you guys have anything you want to correct me on, let me know. I'm not always right about things. I'm not always knowledgeable. I know enough to know I don't know everything, and that is an understatement when it comes to Ren. So we're going to dive through a lot of this together. I've been intentionally not listening to a lot of his other stuff so we could listen to it together. Once we've gone through a bunch of his stuff, I'll start putting it into my regular rotation and really kind of absorbing it. I listened to High Ren on repeat for days and days and days after I did that reaction. So to those of you who said I missed a lot, trust me, I went back and found it. And I found it again, and I went deeper, and I went deeper. That all being said, let's wind this all the way back to the top. I know you guys aren't going to mind because you love him probably more than I do yet, but I'm right there with you. This artist is just amazing. I'm not sure. He looks a little younger in this video, but that might just be the way his hair is cut or whatever. Let me know. Did this come before High Ren? I think it did, but again, I'm trying not to spoil things for myself so we can experience things first time. Let me know down in the comments. If you've got other suggestions too, we got a lot of suggestions on the last video, but I'm hoping that we get even more good ones on this one and the subsequent ones. We're back at the top. Let's keep going. We're gonna go a little longer. We're gonna let this play out a bit. We'll stop. We'll wind back.
It was a quiet dark night in an empty street somewhere in London City. Jenny walked alone, she was dragging her feet. She was heading back home to sleep. Well, she knew this town, she knew this floor, because she walked it about 1,000 times before. She wanted to escape. Can you blame? Well, on the very same night, in a different place, there was this hooded young youth by the name of James. He was 14 years old and out of his brain. He'd been smoking ganja with the boys. James, he grew up to be a kid of the street. His mates called him Screech. He was quick on his feet. He was a liar, a thief. At 14 years old, the devil had set his sights on his soul. As Jenny walked home all alone, she felt scared. Usually she was alright, but it was like there was something in the air. A divine intervention telling her to beware. Maybe intuition bogging her and making her so scared. Sirens sound in the distance at the beat of Jenny's feet. A symphony of the night that echoes crime on London streets. Jenny turns a corner, their eyes they meet. Up or go Jenny, a boy named Screech. Give me all your money, bitch, give it to me. If you cooperate, then you'll...
I love that he's telling a story. Like, It's not the traditional verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, outro. It's a story. It's a journey. Makes sense, you know, Jenny's tale, the tale of Jenny and Screech. Again, I've got the lyrics up over here. I read through a little of them. I'm keeping my eye on them as we go through, but you don't really need to read them because he articulates so well. It's story of a girl named Jenny walking on the street who meets a street kid. I mean, I don't have to tell you guys. He's singing the story right here for you, and you've probably heard this song way more than I have. Very cool. But I just wanted to stop and say that. I love the way he drops out the guitar and just does the vocal parts, the way he comes back in, the difference between the telltale parts and the chunky parts that he does with the chords. Just fantastic. Is that a Taylor? Taylor guitars. Great guitars. Really great tone. He's got good taste in instruments on top of all the other good things. So let's bring this back just a little bit before the transition. And let's listen to the rest of it.
A divine intervention telling her to beware, maybe intuition bogging her and making her so scared. Sirens sound in the distance at the beat of Jenny's feet. A symphony of the night that echoes crime on London streets. Jenny turns a corner, their eyes they meet. Up or go Jenny, a boy named Screech. Give me all your money, bitch, give it to me. If you cooperate, then you'll soon be free. I want your purse, your phone, don't fucking look at me. I mean it, bitch, are you listening to me? Jenny freezes statue like a lady shakes stalactite, feel like liquid nitrogen in the dark night. She tried to find strength to move, but stayed as still as a statue in high-heeled shoes. What the hell you playing at? You playing games with me? I swear to fucking God, I'll slice the rosy off your cheeks. You think I don't mean it, go? You don't know me. The last thing you see will be a boy code. Screech reach with the sheath of the blade, with the teeth that could bite through steel.
I love that when you take the last word of a sentence and make it the first word of the next sentence and overlap them. That's one of my most favorite techniques in wordplay. I don't know what it's called, but it is super awesome. I wanted to touch on the fact that each character, Jenny, Screech, and the narrator, each get their own style. Guitar-wise and vocally-wise. It's very theatrical. I don't know if you guys play Dungeons & Dragons. I've got my first campaign coming up. I'm very excited about it. I've always wanted to play. But I know a good DM embodies the voice of each character. They've got a different character. They've got a different voice for the monsters, a different voice for the NPCs, a different voice for the villain. This is a very theatrical way of approaching a song where each character, including the narrator, gets their own style, which is awesome. Someone who doesn't know what this is, what am I trying to say? Someone who's not looking beyond the surface of songs might see this and be like, "Oh, it's just simple song, guitar and vocals," and that might not register right off the bat, but it is something that's very talented. It's very cool, just to put it in the most mild of terms. It's very cool the way he embodies each of the characters with their own vibe. It's almost got that. It's like classical music, how each like when each season has its own melody and its own orchestration. You know, the instruments used in one season is not used in the same way on another season. The melodies are slightly changed or switched from major to minor. And I don't know if he's consciously doing it or he's just innately that talented that it happens naturally. Maybe some combination of the two, but that's awesome.
What the hell you playing at? You playing games with me? I swear to fucking God, I'll slice the rosy off your cheeks. You think I don't mean it, go? You don't know me. The last thing you see will be a boy code. Screech reach with the sheath of the blade, with the teeth that could bite through steel and slice concrete. And he swung possessed with the devil in his chest, and the statue she was turned to butter in her breath. It was a quiet, dark night in an empty street somewhere at London City. Jenny lay still on the cold concrete. She's found somewhere to sleep. Well, she knew this town, she knew this floor, 'cause she'd walked it about 1,000 times before. I guess that she escaped. It's such a shame.
So I don't need to tell you guys, she wound up dead and bleeding on the ground. With the analogy or I don't want to say symbology, because that's not symbolism. That's the word I'm going for here. The symbolism of sleep and death. There's a song that got me through my breakup a little while back, and there's a line. It's called Wasteland. It's from the Arcane series. Maybe death is like falling asleep. So the parallel to death and sleep is a heavy one, but is part of music, and he does it well. You know, he tells the story. He's got the dialogue back and forth, and in the end, she goes to sleep, in the sense, in the forever sense of the word. Sad story. You know, it's. I think most of us can relate to being in a dangerous place, whether that's out in a dark alley or in a hospital bed or even inside of our own minds. Knowing somewhere well does not change the danger or the scariness of it. I'm saying inside your own mind. I've spent a lot of time in a hospital bed, and my mind has always been my sanctuary. But it gets dark in there sometimes. So when you're trapped in a hospital bed, in pain, on painkillers and whatever else they have you on, it can be scary inside your own head. It can be a haven to keep yourself safe and sane from the outward pain that you're experiencing. But when you're locked in there the whole time, it can also become almost nightmarish, because if you're trapped anywhere long enough, it can become a place that you fear. Great story he's telling. And I'm trying, a lot of my videos, I have a very, I want to say upbeat, but very boisterous personality. I'm trying to, I maintain that, I think, in this, but I'm trying to approach this with a more somber and analytical tone, and really dive in. I think that's what you guys want. Again, if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments, and we'll do something different next time. A lot of times I'll sit down and batch record stuff. Like I'll record 5 or 6 videos by the same group. I just did that with a series I recorded for a band called Ginger. But with this, I'm not going to record the next one until this one releases, so that I can get the feedback from you guys and know what's next. We've got a lot of stuff to cover. That is the end of the first song. That was that was Jenny's Tale. So Jenny's Tale, not Tale of Jenny. So Jenny's Tale. Next up is Screech's Tale. I'm going to stutter and stammer a little bit on this just because there's a lot going on. All right. Let's go into this. Again, we're going to play, we're going to stop, we're going to wind back, we're going to take our time. Hang on. We got to listen to that again. That is some really nice guitar work there. So let's go back to the top here. We'll let this end on this one. I want to hear that transition again.
story, it starts right at the end. At the life of poor Jenny, clocked out like Big Ben. Dear Screech, dear boy, where did he go? He melted into the black night just like snow. Patrick, man, let me in, please open the door. I think I fucked up, Patrick, really fucked up, man, I'm not sure. I got crazy, left this lady lying still on the floor. I think I killed her, Patrick, come on, man, I can't knock no more. But Screech kept on knocking till his knuckles became sore. But there's no sign of Patrick down at number 54. No refuge for our villain, for the bitter hands of fate, with something far more sinister in mind that does away.
Okay, let's bring that back. I want to listen to that part again because I'm reading while we're watching. Obviously, this is where Screech goes to Patrick. Is worried that he killed. I mean, you guys hear the lyrics. If you can't understand the lyrics, you should have the lyrics up like I do. That was there's a critique that I got from everybody. So now I'm gonna say the same thing now. You gotta know what's going on. But he's very good at being clear with what he's saying. Is this where and again, he's doing that thing where each character has his own style. So when Screech is talking, he's got one style of going. When the narrator's talking, he's got another style. I'm not sure if Patrick comes in, but I'm sure if he does, Patrick will have his own style. If there's any other characters, he's theatrical, and I like that.
Dear Screech, dear boy, where did he go? He melted into the black night just like snow. Patrick, man, let me in, please open the door. I think I fucked up, Patrick, really fucked up, man, I'm not sure. I got crazy, left this lady lying still on the floor. I think I killed her, Patrick, come on, man, I can't knock no more. But Screech kept on knocking till his knuckles became sore. But there's no sign of Patrick down at number 54. No refuge for our villain, for the bitter hands of fate, with something far more sinister in mind that does away. Hey, babe, are you in? No, nothing really, I'm just a bit tired, listen. Can I swing around yours for a few moments? I just really miss you, babe. What the fuck do you mean you're busy? You fucking bitch, for fuck's sakes! Siren sounds approaching like a banshee.
That's not something that most artists can pull off. To be able to just swap into something that's spoken, to pull out your cell phone and talk into it like you're having a conversation, there's a lot of room for that to go wrong in a production, in a song. So, he pulls it off though.
Store in mind that does away. Hey, babe, are you in? No, nothing really, I'm just a bit tired, listen. Can I swing around yours for a few moments? I just really miss you, babe. What the fuck do you mean you're busy? You fucking bitch, for fuck's sakes! Siren sounds approaching like a banshee in the night. The shrill cry of justice cutting like the sharpest knife. But Screech was never one to run, not one to miss a fight. One hand upon his blade, he turned to face the blue lights. Come on then, you fucking cunts, let's fucking have you then. I am Screech, I'm the boss, I'm the ender of men. You think that uniform you're wearing means that you own these streets? These are my fucking streets, and they call me fucking Screech. Richard was an officer who stood at 6'3", working London on the night shift. What he didn't think he'd see was a boy running at him like an animal possessed. With no time to hesitate, he fired 4 bullets at Screech's chest.
Oh, the natural reverb in that alley is perfect for what he just did there. Imitating the gun with the guitar. Nice. I don't know if I'm guessing he probably thought that out. There are some things that wind up being happy accidents, but given what I know from what I've watched and from what you guys have told me, I'd bet that was planned. They probably dry ran this a couple of times, or tested or just lived and walked these streets enough to know what it was going to sound like. Another one where he's doing it in one long take, which is very difficult. And we got to give props to the cameraman too. Samuel, I'm guessing, because that's what he said, a Samuel and Wren production at the beginning, the titles. Good job. Good job. Because to keep up with someone with the camera doing what Wren's doing, that's a talent in and of itself. Very cool. And it's, like I said, great that he's telling a story. He's going through a lot of styles too. Damn, look at that face. It's like almost like seething. Like you can feel the emotion there. You could feel the hatred and vitriol for the police coming out of Screech in that moment. All right, let's back up. Yeah, this is a good spot. Also, the fact that we've got our back to the camera here, I like that. That's cool because the phone call just ends. It's kind of like, trying to think of the right words. Not necessarily vulnerable, but to show your back to someone, that leaves you open. So we're at his back. So he's being vulnerable in a different way by giving us his back. And he's also showing like the disappointment behind the anger in that phone call. At least that's the way I see it.
Siren sounds approaching like a banshee in the night. The shrill cry of justice cutting like the sharpest knife. But Screech was never one to run, not one to miss a fight. One hand upon his blade, he turned to face the blue lights. Come on then, you fucking cunts, let's fucking have you then. I am Screech, I'm the boss, I'm the ender of men. You think that uniform you're wearing means that you own these streets? These are my fucking streets, and they call me fucking Screech. Richard was an officer who stood at 6 foot 3, working London on the night shift. What he didn't think he'd see was a boy running at him like an animal possessed. With no time to hesitate, he fired 4 bullets at Screech's chest.
And the camera goes down like a body.
Our story, it ends right at the start. Young Screech and poor Jenny lying one street apart. An officer shaken by the boy that he claimed. 2 bodies lay lifeless, and it's such a shame. It's such a shame.
I like that. It almost like, not quite Romeo and Juliet vibes, but like, that's like too loose of a comparison. It's got almost like a cycle of life, killing and death, opposite sides of the same coin. Again, I'm trying to be a little bit more interpretational, a little bit more deep with my thoughts on this one. I'm glad this is the second one, and that High Ren was the first one. This is a conflict of different people against each other, whereas High Ren is more of a conflict of self. I relate a lot to the conflict of self. There's a bit of a battle in my mind and heart. Not to get too personal with things, but a father who's an abuser and a mother who's a victim. So in my head, both play. And so the fight inside the mind is something I relate to very, very much. Whereas this conflict is external between other people. It can be representative of that fight with the self, but the story itself is more between a group of people. And I'm thinking I'm seeing some parallels to like being. We put people on the opposite side of things. The story has to start somewhere, so it starts with Screech killing Jenny, but then Screech gets killed by someone. Cycle of violence continues. It's a shame, as he says, that the cycle of violence continues. What is this? What is it? These violent delights will bring violent ends. I don't know what I'm quoting, and I'm probably screwing it up, but similar message, same concept. Very cool. Second act, Screech's Tale. So we're gonna move on to the third one. This is going to be part 3, Violet's Tale. I'm not sure who Violet is based on the first 2 pieces, but we're gonna find out, right? So let's hit play and see what's up with Violet. Pretty. Before he comes in with the lyrics, and we're going to back this up so we can start at the beginning of it, I want to talk about his guitar playing for a second, because we've talked a lot about the lyrics and the meaning behind them and the message he's putting out there. But let's just take a moment to appreciate how badass of a guitar player he is. Like, that's awesome. And to do it on an acoustic, for anybody who doesn't play guitar, on an electric guitar, the distance between the fretboard and the string is a lot lower on an electric guitar because of the very nature of how guitars are made and how they sound and what's necessary to make an acoustic ring through the way it does. So when you're talking about the difference between a distance of millimeters versus, not centimeters, but like you're talking about like on an electric guitar, we've got this like just a little, especially on like if you're playing in a metal band, you've got a hair of clearance, just like the tiniest little hair of clearance between the string and the fretboard. And on an acoustic, you've got it's like a chasm of difference comparatively speaking. So to be able to do those fast taps, you got to have strong fingers, and it's that not only has to be strong, but they have to be agile. So at speed, have strength. To have both speed and strength and dexterity in your fingers, I guess that's 3 things, not both. So to have all those combined, that's a lot of work. There's fatigue that'll go on there. If you're not practiced at that stuff, you can't keep it up. You can't do that for a long period of time without working those muscles. It's like going to the gym and going from not doing anything to lifting, 100 rounds of like your body weight. I don't know anything about the gym. Don't take my numbers. Whatever. I'm trying to be ridiculous for the sake of scale, just to illustrate a point here. You can't just pick up a guitar and do that. Even if you know and understand, even if you can practice a little piece and do it, that takes endurance to be able to do at speed with the tone ringing out. There's plenty of times where you could do something like that, where if you're tired from doing it for too long or you don't have enough practice, those notes don't ring properly, they buzz. So just wanted to take a few moments to appreciate the guitar playing, because it's the other half and it deserves its due.
city, far from pretty. 2005. A lady down in Paddington is fighting just to stay alive. Rhythmic beats and bloodstains. She saw a lady weep. She's tired and frail. To set the scene, we must rewind the hands of time for Violet's tale.
Without knowing, I'll make the prediction, if we're rewinding time, maybe Violet is the mother of either Screech or Jenny. That would be my guess. Let's see if I'm right. My other guess would be the nurse, but if we're like the nurse who's in the emergency room where Jenny and Screech wind up because he's in the hospital. But now that he said rewind time, I'm guessing it's more probably one of their births. But, you know, we'll see. I'm just making speculation because it's fun to speculate.
Weep, she's tired and frail. To set the scene, we must rewind the hands of time for Violet's tale. Was a silent girl, grew up with violent starts. Her mother was a drinker and her father was a bastard. Every night he took her tie but never left the room. I'll spare you with the things he did, I'm sure her mother knew. Violet was a silent girl, she moved out at 16. A semi-detached council flat, paid for by a welfare scheme. Packing shelves at Tesco, stacking jars like pickled bricks. She met a boy named Stevie and he was a little prick. Violet was a silent girl and Violet, she fell fast. See, Stevie was a wrong and but he sure knew how to charm her. Every night he took her tie but never left the room. History repeats itself, he'd paint her black and blue and dark. She never stood a chance. The devil comes to dance.
Heartbreaking. You've heard the story a million times if you've heard it once. I'm not going to go into detail like he didn't go into detail. I don't want to go there. I don't think it's appropriate for a YouTube video. Those of us that know what the implication is there. God, that sucks. I know that's not the right words. It's not enough, but if we haven't gone through it ourselves, we've known someone who's gone through it. It happens so often, it'll break your heart. It's fucked up what we do to each other as people. There is the other side, the like wonderful things that we do for each other. Like you guys supporting the channel, commenting, teaching me about Ren, all that stuff. So there is a good side too. But man, those dark sides, they'll break you. Even if it's not happening to you, that stuff will break you. It's hard to hear. Let's bring it back a little. The heaviness aside, the way he uses the natural reverb of the different hallways and rooms, some of it more reverb, some less. The stairway sounds a lot different than the room, sounds different from the hallway. He's aware of that and uses that to his advantage. As per normal, he's kicking butt vocally and on the guitar. Fantastic artist. And he's painting a picture. That picture may be painted in blood, but he's painting it.
But never left the room. History repeats itself. He'd paint her black and blue and dark. She never stood a chance. The devil comes to dance. Violet, why are you always so quiet? On her bedroom door and he's irate. He's been drinking and smoking, he's up late. And he stands by her bedside, she shakes, but her eyes stay shut. You fucking slut, I know you're up. And he pinches her eyelids and folds them up. Violet, why you lying to me, Violet? She stays silent, things turn violent. That's the sound of his fists when they fall like a crashing pilot. Hit like hailstones, one to the collarbone, full force, full blown, blood's black bone, crack, knick, knack, paddy whack, one to the jaw and the tooth spat, detached fist connects and disconnects a bone. A quick deflector, misdirect the blow, but nonetheless his punches met her throat. Such a mess, he's left her bruised and broke. Violet, why you always so silent, Violet? Why you such a little liar, Violet? Do you think I want to do this, Violet? In character, she stays silent. Well, say something, Violet. Silence. Fucking say something, Violet. Silence. Wait. Say something, Violet. Not one word. She stays quiet.
Fuck.
London City, far.
That's hard. That's hard to listen to, but I'm not gonna stand up and walk away. We're gonna come back and do a little bit of that. Fuck, man. I try not to curse in these videos, but I can't think of anything else to say other than that. Okay. I apologize if you guys hear the loud engines in the background. I do live on a busy street. When I went through my health problems, I had to give up my office across the hall just so I could make ends meet. So I do this all in the one room in the house, and because of that, sometimes we get a little noise from outside. It can't be helped. The only other thing I could do is stop and rewind and edit. This is not something I want to edit. I want you guys to get the full take straight through. So, again, I apologize for the noises in the background. The first two acts of this, they were heavy, but this is heavier. And I've never been through something this extreme on this end of things. Again, I think I relate more to High Ren directly, but I've seen pieces of this both in my own life and in other people's lives that I've known and loved and cared about. So it's hard to listen to a little bit. Not gonna lie, but we're gonna listen to it because it's important.
Wait. Say something, Violet. Not one word. She stays quiet. London City, far from pretty, 2005. A lady down in Paddington is fighting just to stay alive. The doctor, in a state of shock, saw something here so very wrong. See, Violet, she was pregnant. Poor Violet, she was 9 months gone. Turning to the doctor, Violet broke her silence and she cried, if I'm to die right here tonight, please let my baby stay alive. The doctor soon regained composure, called the surgeon to come in. As Violet's world turned to black, the curtains closed, the lights went dim. In London City, far from pretty, 2005. A lady down in Paddington just lost the fight to stay alive. A tragedy or a miracle, it happened on these very streets. Two twins lying side by side. A girl named Jenny and a boy named Screech.
Now that's a twist. Jesus. Okay, so the implication there is that they wound up separated. and that brother and sister died as tragically as the mother. I mean, I know I'm painting a picture that you guys have already looked at a million times before. If you're a fan of Ren and you're watching this, that's a twist I didn't quite expect. I at the beginning of that chapter, I assumed it was the mother of one of them, whether it was Jenny or Screech. But the fact that they were twins and they wound up finding each other later in life and being the end of each other, when they came from, that quote that I don't actually have. These violent delights bring violent ends, or whatever it is. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. You can throw it down in the comments. I'm not going to start blubbering like I did in the last one. This is a heartbreaking story. It's a heartbreaking story. I have not lived this story myself, whereas in High Ren I felt very, very almost like directly related to those journeys. As I said, I had a father and a mother who were an abuser and a victim, but not to that extreme. I was lucky in that regard. Childhood was traumatic and terrible, but not on any type of level of that story. God, I hate to say that twist was great because from a storytelling perspective, that twist was perfect. I don't want to say, like, I don't want to give it too much praise because I'm concerned that this was a story of real people that Ren knew, and I don't want to be disrespectful. If this was a story he made up, wow, the circles and the cohesiveness of the story as it cycles through the different ages and the different chapters in the lives of these people. It's a brilliant story. If it's an actual representation of a true story, whether it's someone he knew or heard about or whatever, that makes it even more sad. The characters, as an example, is a lesson that we can learn, but I'm almost tempted to say, don't even tell me. Because if I find out it's a story that actually happened and is real, I'm just going to break down crying and it's going to suck. That was a ride. I'm still glad I saw High Ren first. That one broke me. If you guys haven't seen my reaction, that's obviously up on the channel. Go take a look. I got real emotional in that one. Tears at the end, not to spoil. Ren is really talented. And I mean, that's an understatement, by all means, an understatement. We could go over all the points I made. The choice of location, the choice of wearing the hospital gown, the different characters having different voices throughout, through his guitar playing and his actual voice. Just everything about it, the guitar playing, the vocals. He went through a lot of different vocals stylistically. Your standard average radio music, I get why he wasn't picked up on the radio, and to hell with that. It doesn't matter. You listen to music in pop culture and on the radio, and there is a certain congruency and consistency throughout the song as almost like a safety net. And he doesn't participate in that shenanigans. He does what feels right at any given moment, even if it's completely off the beaten path, something a little different. If it's punk-like, it's punk-like. If it's flamenco style, he does that. He open a cappella, spoken word. He throws it all together, like in a very artistic way. Just art. It's just art. I think like it would be selling him short to call it good music. It's art. It's not even necessarily, I mean, it is music, but it's so much more than that. It's a theatrical performance. It's an art piece. It's a look inside the minds of characters that it takes you on a journey, and that journey goes to a dark place. And we've all been to a dark place. I mean, I hope there's some people that haven't. I hope there's some people out there that have seen nothing but rainbows and sunshine and are just kind-hearted people who've lived a great life. But I know that for most of us, especially those of us who find artists like Ren and who connect over things like that, we've gone through some pretty dark times. That was a story. I don't know how to end this video. So I'll end it with saying thank you all for sticking around to the end, for the suggestions, for the support, for the kindness, for all the likes and comments and subs. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for exposing me to Ren. Special thank you to John. Thank you for being the one to start me on the journey by sharing it in our Discord. Appreciate all of you. Much love, much respect. Know that I'm giving you all a hug right now. Thank you all. Take care of yourselves and be well.